All right. Hopefully that fixes it for now. Turn the Wi-Fi off. Got to make that phone call. I'm going to put it on the to-do list as soon as I'm done with this live stream. Remind me. Anyway, today we're going to talk about one of Jacob's, one of Jacob's 12 kids, Reuben, the firstborn, and how he screwed up so badly that he had to get the blessing of the firstborn taken away from him. And sorry, that's a little loud and echoey. I'm in the front yard in the workshop with the door open and stuff because it keeps raining, so I can't be outside. I'll get the microphones and stuff wet. And that really sucks because I got like 4 videos I need to finish, just like the intros and outros too, so I can upload them. But they're getting done as soon as this live stream's over, as long as it's weather permitting. If not, they're getting done tomorrow. Anyway, back to Reuben. So Reuben screws up a bunch, and gets the blessing of the first. So obviously he's the firstborn. He's Abraham, or he's Jacob. He's Jacob and Leah. He's their child. Jacob's firstborn, so he's supposed to be this great leader. He's supposed to be the leader of the family after Jacob dies. He's supposed to be Jacob's right-hand man. Well, he doesn't. He never steps up and leads the family. He never steps up and leads his brothers. All he does is cause problems, and we'll see later. He tries to usurp his dad as the family leader through some shenanigans and backstabbing instead of actually stepping up and becoming a leader by actually doing the job of a leader. Now, there's 2 types of leaders out there, really. There's leaders that get that way. So somebody gets hired on as a boss at work. They're a leader because they got hired into that position. Or somebody in the military who gets enough points and everything to get promoted into that position. They're a leader. And then there are real leaders who step up and lead even when they're not in that position to lead. And it's important for us to look and say, hey, even if I'm not in a position of leadership in this area, I should do what I can to lead myself and lead others in this area. I'm not saying step on the toes of your boss and get yourself in trouble. Step up and be an example. You don't have to lead by telling others what to do. Leadership is more like being an example, being the one everybody looks for, being the one that can help people when they need help. And we should be leaders of our families. Well, first off, we should lead ourselves. And next, we should be leaders of our families. As men, we should be leaders of our husband. Now, that's a tiny little majority. I've heard some people say it's a 51% majority. I say it's more like a 50.01% majority. You should very rarely use your that. What you should do as a leader is by, like I said, showing the example. So, my wife's trying to get in better shape. She's having problems with legs if she doesn't walk at night. So my job is to make sure I do everything I can for her to be able to take that walk right before bed, so she doesn't have those leg cramps, so she can get that exercise in. And that's what I mean by being a leader in your family. Showing your kids by example, being the best that you can be in every category. That doesn't mean be perfect. Be the best you can in every category. Be the best disciple in God. You should possibly be in. Now, that doesn't mean you should necessarily, if you're a 40-year-old, be in better shape than your teenagers, even though I am. So I need to do a better job of showing the kids that I'm working out and trying to get in better shape, and that too. I also need to do a better job of being a leader for my children. So by studying and finishing my permaculture design course, online design course, and doing some other stuff like that, and leading them in school work and stuff too. Um, oh, and finishing some writings and stuff I'm working on. I'm working on a Bible study that should be out in the middle of next month. I'm really looking forward to that. If you want to join us for that Bible study, uh, look for Prepare to Prosper on Telegram, me/Prepare to Prosper, or when I'm done with this, I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, the Bible study on my Telegram channel. Yeah, I want it to be a group discussion between all of us. But a couple essays and other stuff I need to wrap up and finish. I've been working on way too long, and I need to sit down and do those with the kids. So we talked about how he tried to usurp his dad as leader of the family. Shenanigans. So, like I said, stepping up and being the leader by example, he tries to take the reins of leadership from his dad, and he does that by trying to sleep with one of his dad's wives slash concubine. We already discussed Jacob's Jerry Springer family, but it's one of his wife's handmaids that his wife gave him or told him that he to have children for his wife, and it's just this big confusing family mess. Well, Reuben decides to sleep with Bilhah, and he's doing this because he wants to produce offspring with her, so that way her kid, that his kid will now be elevated in line, and he's the dad of that. And it's common in ancient cultures. Well, it's not common, but this happens in ancient cultures, and there's a few other places it happens in the Bible. Noah comes to mind. Uh, it's not good. He should have, like I said, stepped up, became a man, and led by becoming an example to everybody, and led by being a force for good. Uh, by trying to usurp his dad and being a scoundrel and a cheat and a low life, and yeah. So when they decide to his brother, so there's 12 of them total. 8 of them decide to, well, 9, no, 10, 9 to 10 of them decide they're going to kill Joseph. Now, I don't know if Reuben was part of them that decided to kill, or he's kind of vague, but they decide, the older brothers decide they're going to kill Joseph. Well, Reuben does do something right here, and he tries to save Joseph. He says, hey, don't kill Joseph, throw him in this well. And he was planning on coming back later and getting him. Well, he hesitates to come back later, and then 9 remaining older brothers sell Joseph into slavery. Now, God and Joseph end up turning that around to something good, but that doesn't mean Joseph did this half-hearted effort. He didn't follow through was supposed to. He didn't stop his brothers from doing the wrong thing. He just tried a half-hearted effort to save him, and then didn't follow through on that. Now, I don't know if you can hear, but I try to pray every time I hear sirens. So please join me in praying. Dear Heavenly Father, please, we're going to go help, and the people that they're responding to, help that person and help the responders to be able to do what they need to do, and help them to deal with the stress of their job, and help all involved, the responders, the person in need, all their family and friends, to grow and have a better relationship with you, and in all things, your will before. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So then you have the plague, or the famine, and they all go to Egypt. Joseph's the second in charge of Egypt. Uh, all of the rest of his, or some of the rest of his brothers, his older brothers, come down to buy grain. Well, Joseph decides to, because he wants his family to all join him in Egypt and be safe and under his protection. So he decides to test them to see if they've grown past the point they were when they tried to kill him, and past the point they were when they sold him into slavery. So he keeps one of the older 10. I can't remember which one. I think it's Simeon. Simeon. And he says, unless you bring your the youngest brother that's left with you back, Simeon's going to stay in jail until he dies. Well, they go back to back home with the food. Well, when they run out of food again, they have to go buy more food. Well, Reuben's like, hey, this man in Egypt, in charge of Egypt, he told us not to come back unless we bring our younger brother. And Jacob's like, hey, I already lost my favorite son. I don't want to lose my second favorite son. So Reuben, instead of coming up with some, if the favorite son you have left dies, you can kill one of my sons instead. Okay, that's pretty obvious. That's pretty. Don't do that kind of stuff. Come up with good plans. Don't run off half-cocked. Protect your kids. Don't offer them up as a trade. Don't use your kids to prove a point. Don't put your kids in situations that are bad for them. We're supposed to stand up and protect our kids. Now that doesn't mean we make life easy for our kids. Me and Sarah have made life too easy for our kids. Something that I'm working on changing right now. This evening or tomorrow, we're working on chore charts with the kids. We're now making the kids. We've been in a bad habit of not eating dinner together. We're eating every day, and we're sitting down and we're discussing things as a family. We're going through some, because Daniel's older. We're going through a book with him and at dinner, and with Thomas, of course, because he's at dinner with us. But going over this book so they have a better understanding of what it's like to be an adult, so Daniel can start transitioning into that position. And we're going to start going through some Bible studies. And since they don't watch this, so we're going to take our family fun night we do every Sunday. So every Sunday, somebody in the family gets to pick some fun activity they want to do, and the whole family does it. We try really hard to block that time out on Sunday evenings to do that together. I have a list of movies and other stuff we want to do that all have important lessons. So we're going to watch that movie, and then we'll spend the next few days at dinner discussing parts of that movie and some lessons we can learn from it. And we're also going to go through Bible studies like I'm doing here with the kids, and important lessons they can learn from those Bible studies. When at the end of Jacob's life, he's going through and telling them what legacies they'll leave behind as a blessing and a prophecy to them, and how they will be the patriarchs of their own tribes, and because of their attitudes and their personalities, how they will train their children and their grandchildren, and those people will raise the other generations after them, how their tribe will act. Well, since Reuben tried to be a family usurper and take the position from his dad by sleeping with Bilhah, he's left out. He's no longer the top or the leader of the family, and Joseph doesn't have anything really nice to say about him. And we see throughout the rest of the Bible, the tribe of Reuben is just there. They don't ever step up to become leaders. None of them really do anything significant. They're just there. And see in a few weeks when we get to that part in our study of Moses, where the Levites, who are all, so Levi was the third born, second or third born, and he, because of his actions, also loses the right of his position. But we'll see how his descendants step up and redeem themselves. He never does that, and we need to set an example. Well, first off, what we need to do is take the problems our family has had and flaws our family had growing up and generational problems, whether it's generational abuse, generational laziness, generational workaholics, whatever it is, and we need to fix that and not pass that on to our kids and be an example of, you don't have to pass on the worst parts of our family legacy to your kids, to my kids, or to your kids. And then we got to teach our kids that whatever the worst part of, they need to teach their kids not to pass that on too. So over generations, our families will get stronger and stronger. Uh, the Bible or Proverbs says, "Wise man passes on an inheritance to his children's children." That's not just talking about money. It's talking about using your, talking about follow. That's talking about becoming strong families. And this ties back to our last lesson I just covered. So there's a old phrase: strong men make good times make weak men make hard times. We need to not make our kids' lives miserable, but make our kids' lives hard enough that they can make their kids good, lives better, so that their hard times leads to good, or they become strong men and make good times for their children. We don't have to stick with the same rotation the rest of the country or world's going through with that. We can make our families better, and we need to self-impose hardness on ourselves, exercising when we don't want to, dieting when we don't want to, doing the hard things so our kids have a better life, but showing them how to do the hard things too, so their kids have a better life, and passing that on to future generations, to our grandkids. And if everybody started thinking this way, imagine how much better the world would be and better the country would be. You want to make America great again? Make yourself great again. Make your family great again. Be an example to those around you. Don't wait for some care about you. Even the politicians that care about you more than the average politician still don't care about you more than you do. And they don't care about your kids more than you care about your kids, because that politician doesn't know who you are. You're just an abstract to them, and they don't know who your kids are. They're just an abstract to them. They're just the kids out there, or the people out there, the people that live in my jurisdiction. They don't they don't know who you are. They don't know your name. They wouldn't recognize you. So quit relying on them. Start relying on yourself, relying on God to build this relationship and make those around you better. I'm not going to do any more rambling. If you like this kind of stuff, if you like homesteading, preparedness stuff, like I said, I got 4 videos that I'm working on finishing up. And it looks like it's done raining, so I can go record those intros and outros real quick. But those are all on garden biochar and that kind of stuff. If you're into that kind of stuff, if you're into the stuff like this live stream and Bible studies and making yourself a better person, do the YouTube like, subscribe thing. But more importantly, hop over to Telegram. Like I said, it's search for Prepare to Prosper on Telegram, or it's our t.me/prepare to prosper, and join that conversation. And I don't want to be a leader there. I want to be part of that conversation with you guys, learning from you guys, growing along with you guys. And that's all I have today. I hope you have a blessed week, and I hope you guys join me again next week for another live stream. We might be talking about Simeon, maybe. We're going to be talking about one of the other brothers. I don't remember which one off the top of my head. I need to update the schedule on my website, but I do have, if you go to johnmagnus.com, I'm working on rebranding that too. I know I got a lot of things I need to work on. But anyway, johnmagnus.com/live. You'll see a schedule of my upcoming live streams. I try to keep that up to date. So that's all I have. Like I said, I hope you have a blessed week. And remember, we prepare today so we can prosper tomorrow.